You see mine?
See. Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and today I'm joined by my good friend and GVG co-founder, Ash Paulson, our video editor, Brandon Miracle, and
Hey.
our very special guest, Twitch streamer and Final Fantasy XIV savant, Linky. How you doing, Linky?
I am doing pretty good. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, I saw the news. I'm like, you know what? He just helped me get through the coils of Bahamut in Final Fantasy XIV. This feels like a nice way to repay.
No problem. We still got to
Nice.
do that sync run or unsync run of T9 for you.
Oh God, yeah, that was wow. I have not done actual raid type stuff, and boy, that kicks your ass.
Oh, it
Uh,
does. It does, and it could get worse.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm like I've seen some of the videos of you and some Kami Johnny going through some of that crazy stuff later on. It's like, oh, that's I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's
I-
frightening.
I played long enough to get to level 8, which basically means I've seen the whole game, right? I haven't
Oh,
missed
totally.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on there, and I am so close to reaching Heaven's Ward. I just need to finish off the Crystal Tower, which is from what I understand, is actually kind of a recreation of Final Fantasy III's Crystal Tower. That's interesting and worrying. And then I'm working through 2.4. And my next primal that I'm going to be fighting, or basically summon, is Shiva. So
Nice.
getting close to that. So I am making my way through, doing all right, but that is all good there. But before we get to any further, we do have a sponsor for today, and that is The Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While they are still running Let's Plays of Splatoon 2 and Super Mario 64 from the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, they are also adding new games like Sonic Colors Ultimate and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Also, there are now shorter videos in a playlist called The Game Orb Minis for clips that are highlighted. So be sure to subscribe to The Game Orb at the link in the description and check out their good friend, the Galactic Reaper. They are currently sitting at 363 subscribers, and we are slowly making our way to 400 as we continue to push our support of them. So thank you once again,
Yes.
Game Orb, for all of your generous support, and it is very much appreciated, and all the love to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Game Orb. As always, I just posted links to both the Game Orb and Galactic Reaper's channels in our YouTube chat. So please, if you're watching, go check out their content. Drop them a subscribe. They totally deserve it, and they've been supporting GVG from the very beginning. And Eddie and I also just had a really cool Fight a Founder session over the weekend in which we played N64 online games together, and that was a lot of fun.
Ooh.
So thank you for all the support, Eddie, and thank you for the games. Had a good time on Saturday. So thank you for that.
Very nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Such
All
a
right.
nice orb.
Yeah, very, very nice orb.
Very nice. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get to our first story, since we are running a little late with this one, we did get a super chat, a very generous super chat before we even started, from a Nerd's Ramblings for $20, saying, "I'm hoping Frontiers for its Switch port is either a Cloud or Switch Pro or 2 exclusive. They said the game is targeting next gen, and I don't want the Switch holding back a new 3D Sonic game that has clear ambition going for it." Honestly, well, we'll get more into it as we get to it later. And thank you very much for that super chat, Nerds Ramblings. But I have a feeling it might just outright skip the Switch.
Either that, or they'll just do a scaled back version for the Switch. I mean, we've seen they can do that. Sonic Colors Ultimate runs in, I think, 1080p 60 FPS on PS4 and Xbox, whereas on Steam probably. But on Switch, it's locked to 30 FPS. So, they could always just still release a scaled back, pared down version of it for Switch specifically, and still not compromise the, current gen. I don't know what they call it, current gen or next gen versions, but whatever. The PS5 and Xbox Series versions. But thank you so much, Nerds Ramblings, for the incredibly generous donation. And you might be the first person I've ever seen ask for a cloud version of anything on Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
not heard good things about the Guardians of the Galaxy on Switch cloud version.
I
And I
get
know people are not happy
wanting
about Kingdom Hearts.
I
Getting
get
cloud version.
wanting Switch to not hurt the other versions of Sonic, but I don't think that'll happen. Even if it does get a pared down version on Switch, as long as they make the game scalable, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is Sega who decided, like, you know what? The Wii U's doing really good. We should put 3 exclusive Sonic games on there.
Yeah, and not to mention the same Sega who took the single most well received and successful Sonic game of the past decade at least, and decided not to make a follow up with it within 5 years, or follow to it in 5 years. Talking,
Oh
of
my
course, about
god.
Mania. So yeah, who
Mm.
knows what Sega's going to do? You can never ever assume you know what Sega's going to do.
Really not. But
Yeah.
well, we have some other craziness to talk about. Some things that, you know what? I'm adding there's a new inevitability to everyone's life: death, taxes, and Pokemon Street release dates. Let's get that
Yep.
first story up.
Yep.
As is annual tradition, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have leaked early, thanks to retailers, and it is out there and people are playing through it, showing off more of the game thanks to the PokeLeaks subreddit. And Nintendo's trying to combat it and doing all of that. But it's not looking good. I mean, it's out there again. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be getting an early review copy. I know that for a fact, but I don't think it's even going out to other critics yet, but the retail version's out there. So
Yikes.
whoops.
Yeah, this just seems to be inevitable. Kind of like Thanos and all that. It just leaks, and especially Pokemon leaks are inevitable, and it sucks. I never like to see leaks happening. I know it takes the piss out of a lot of people, fans who don't want to be spoiled, but also a lot of people in the production pipeline and on the developer end who just, there's so much coordination that goes into a game's development timeline, release, and the period of release and PR work and having a whole PR campaign. There's so much coordination, and leaks just, completely crap all over those efforts. So it's a shame when they happen. But we still got to talk about them when they do happen. So, but I think probably a lot of Pokemon fans have been trying to stay unspoiled, I would think, just because I know how intense Pokemon spoilers can get.
I don't know if they're doing that much to try to avoid being spoiled since these are remakes. I think the big thing that I'm seeing as people are playing through this is the platinum content in there? That is that is the big question right now, and also some concerns about the music. I don't know if you've heard it yet.
Yeah, I hadn't heard it yet. I had just read about that though on this article, and there are concerns about the soundtrack being, I guess, like a MIDI based soundtrack, that it sounds different from what's been heard in the trailers. And I'm trying to find some of that right now to compare. And I'm wondering if the MIDI soundtrack they're talking about, is it the same sound font as the original DS versions? Like, did they not even remix the soundtrack, or like what are we talking about here?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time believing that.
Me
Yeah,
too.
that's
I can't
crazy.
imagine that would be the case. They wouldn't just not offer a remix soundtrack.
I mean, if they do like Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver did, is basically have like a backwards compatibility. Like, hey, you want this new music or do you want the old music? There you go. I would love to have that.
that'd be cool if they gave it as an option. That said, I don't know whether to read this out or not because it's interesting. Because the Irish Jackermon in our patron chat spoiler tagged it, but said they did look at the leaks and took a look at something, and there's signs in here that the entire game actually isn't on the cartridge. Basically,
That's interesting.
It seems
What?
like um from what they're saying, the post game isn't in there. There's no post game. So
Huh.
it's possible that maybe they were like, okay, we leak all the time. We're going to hold this out and put it in there via a patch on day one. I don't know.
And then for like
Man.
later versions of the game, they basically implement the other half that they basically hold back. Which,
I mean, it's smart in that way, but it's also like is it actually going to be added in there, or is there just no post game? Which seems weird because there's definitely even a post game in Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, because you got the battle tower, right, for Diamond and Pearl.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's been a while since I last played that game.
And I think it was the Battle Frontier in Platinum.
Platinum, yeah.
Mhm.
But even then, the distortion, the distortion world should be the big clue if it is using platinum stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can still have the distortion world and still have Diamond and Pearl, because there is still the ability to catch Dialga in a different way by going to the area where you catch Dialga in Diamond and Pearl, because that can also lead to the distortion world. Because in Platinum, that's where a portal goes to that way too.
Mm-hmm. True.
So it could work like that.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing, and especially when this game comes out, it's still 2 weeks away from a release. Like,
this is so interesting. Yeah, so I've been looking further into the music part of things, and at Central Leaks on Twitter was retweeting somebody who says, so a friend discovered that the trainer battle theme in Pokemon BDSP sounds like a MIDI because it uses the default trumpet sample if you were to directly drag the original Diamond and Pearl MIDI directly into Cubase, which I guess is some kind of application. So I wonder if that means that he also says, or they also say, that a day one patch is definitely going to be required, and the speculation is that the day one patch contains the final remixed music, and that maybe development wasn't exactly smooth, and maybe this is coming in a bit hot. But man, if the day one patch is required to deliver the final remixed music to the game, that's pretty wild. No pun intended, but I guess we'll see. This is all speculation, of course, but that's weird that's kind of what happened here with the music.
It is wild because on one hand, it kind of sucks because now your physical version isn't like the full version of the game. You have those updates and everything else, which, game preservation and all that. On the other hand, hey, the game did just leak and now not everything's spoiled. That's kind of cool. That's kind of nice, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Although as the Irish Jackamon does point out in our live audience chat, just a PSA, apparently there were also some Legends Arceus leaks alongside BDSP, so be careful.
I've not seen any of those, thankfully.
Yeah, so just be careful. Obviously, there's not as much to spoil with remakes, but Legends Arceus, I know there's a lot that could be spoiled, so just be safe.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Linky?
I was just going to say, there's just one of those half glass full sort of deal where, hey, glass is half full, you're good with it. Half glass is half empty. There you go.
Yeah.
That all that.
This
People
is also
will take their own.
This is also a state of the game that we weren't supposed to see. So,
right,
you can't fault Ilka for where the game is right now because we're not supposed to have it.
No.
Yeah, straight up. And I think that's a point that a lot of people forget.
We can't comment on it for sure until, that day one releases out. That said, there is merit in the whole games preservation thing when it comes to a hard copy, like Derek said.
So I don't know. It's a weird situation. It feels a little bit different than the usual. Well, it leaked and all these Pokemon are out. The fact that it's a remake this time is, makes it not feel as bad. Although again, there's stuff out there for Legends Arceus. So I don't know. It's Pokemon. You know how this stuff goes. It's wacky. All I know is I guess I'll be picking it up day one to try and review it. I mean, we'll see how quickly I can get through it. Because, got to see the post game, got to see what it's all in there. But
it shouldn't possibly take you more than about 14, 15 hours. If you play the original one, then you're probably going to take it a little bit smoothly. So you could possibly get it done within a day. Granted,
not with a kid.
Especially with experience share being forced, I know there's experience share isn't an option in this game again. So the fact that it's forced on you, it's probably going to be incredibly low effort difficulty wise, just like mashing A. Yeah.
Well, speaking of this experience share, it is forced anymore. You don't have an option like you did before, but the games have been specifically balanced around that at this point. Yeah.
I always just hear from people that they're still way too easy because your whole team is inevitably super over leveled.
They already were
by
easy.
Halfway into the game. Exactly. They are never hard.
Pokemon's always been easy. There's been
they've never been difficult for sure.
I love Gold and Silver. But trust me, as somebody like it's been years since I did my Nuzlocke on gold on Crystal, but that the grind in that game is freaking ridiculous because there is a jump at some point and there is nothing in between to help you get that level up. It is just nope, you're going to grind for a while if you're going to be ready, and the pacing is not great.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's that? You want to survive a milk tank? Then, well, good luck grinding for a little while.
So, I mean, there is that. You have the extra grinding and doing every Pokemon. In that case, that this does save time. Again, it works as an option if you just want to get all your Pokemon up. We'll see. And hey, it might have had forced XP share, but people still got their butts kicked by Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's Necrozma fight. That's for sure.
I will say I remember being surprised by the teeth that the Totem Mimikyu fight had in Vanilla Sun and Moon. I remember actually like being surprised by, I actually have to pay attention in this fight, or maybe I will lose. It still wasn't what I would consider hard, but it wasn't just like mindlessly mashing A through every battle easy either.
True. And I will say, at least in the Nuzlocke run, Cynthia in Platinum, no joke.
Yeah.
She is rough.
What's that for sure? Too? Have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
First Pokemon.
And despite everything we're saying, there really still probably should be an option, but it should come with a warning saying the game wasn't designed with this in mind because they rebalanced it. So they're like, if you're hardcore about it, then this option's for you. But yeah, weird to not have it at the very least.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious what the general reaction to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is going to be, because people were asking for this for a long time, but I don't know if it's what people expected or wanted. It's maybe a little too close to the original and how it played. And there's not that big shift that, for example, Sapphire and Ruby had with their remakes.
And I've never played original Gen 4, so this is an all-new experience for me. So I wonder how my perspective will change based on it.
Go ahead, Linky.
I was going to say, you're probably going to enjoy it.
It has one of my favorite trainer themes in this entire series.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That is really fantastic. I don't know. Well, I'm curious what you'll think when you get to it. But I don't know. I'll be replaying it here soon, and just I guess have to dodge some leaks at this point, because that's certainly a thing.
Right. But one question for you all: which start are you guys going to go with?
I think Piplup, because on my original playthrough I chose Chimchar. On my Nuzlocke I did Turtwig, so I might as well just complete the trilogy.
Man, it's hard. I went with Piplup in my original playthrough because I tend to favor water types, except in very specific situations. I might go Turtwig. I might go Piplup again, but I don't think I'd go Chimchar. I think so. It's either I go Piplup again or I switch to Turtwig. One of those two.
I'm probably gonna go Chimchar just because I love Chimchar's design, and for whatever reason, I'm always excited by the fire starters. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just like orange and red colors.
Yeah, and as Killamox points out, there aren't a lot of fire types in Gen 4, so that's another good reason to pick Chimchar.
I get a reason. I've never been a big fan of Infernape's design. I like Chimchar. I think he's adorable, or think it's adorable, but
Infernape's
I was never a big fan of Infernape.
Directly from the Monkey King.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That's why I love it personally.
Yeah.
I love Journey to the West.
Fire Goku.
Fair enough. Fire Goku, yeah.
And here
Not
I
to
am.
say that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and here I am. I'm gonna be like the only one's gonna pick Turtwig because I'm like, dude, he's my boy. I can't pick anybody else.
I love Turtwig.
He's adorable.
I named him after Turtles and Xenoblade.
Hey.
And I mean, Torterra is pretty damn cool. It has a whole ass tree on its back, its shell. And I also really love Empoleon. Like Empoleon's, they got those bladed arms. Yeah, I don't know. Just for me personally, I'm not saying Infernape's lame. Sorry, Infernape fans. Love Infernape. He's cool. Just not for me personally. I'm not saying he's any worse or it's any worse than the others.
It's like me being an Incineroar fan and having to defend myself against like the whole internet.
Defend your wrestler lion. Do it.
To be fair,
He's
I'm
my
also not
boy.
a big fan of fire types like as a whole. It's just kind of like I'm more of a water type, ice type person. So that bias also plays into it. It doesn't have anything to do with Infernape itself. Stop coming after me. I see people angry in the chat. I'm sorry. Don't come after me. No Infernape slander here. Infernape's great. I'm just not a fire type guy. That's all.
He's
Gather
just
your
a
fire types
monkey.
and build your torches.
I know. God, what have I done? What have I done to
Yep.
myself?
You've riled the Pokemon fans. That is not a good idea.
No, it really isn't.
Well, before we get to our next subject, there's a few more super chats here. We got Jason Henry with $5. How's it going, Jason? I recognize that name. Saying Nintendo Switch Sonic 2022 will cause both seizures and violent diarrhea. Never assume Sega's ambition. P.S. I love Linky. I had to read that because of Linky, but loving Linky, and we love Linky too.
Hell yeah, we do.
There's that. Rec BCQ with the $5 super chat saying, it's surprising that the largest multimedia franchise on earth can't seem to stop their games from leaking. Honestly, it's impressive for who leaks it. I mean, it's literally, I think, just people, oh, hey, we got a copy. You want it? It's like,
Yeah.
I think it's just retailers being like, not caring about keeping to the street date. It's like, well, it's Pokemon.
There's a thing that we have something at my store that we call, it's just a GameStop, or it's just a Walmart approach where they basically like, oh, we got this game in stock. Is this thing for sale? Sure, whatever, just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's well worth going to a Walmart and see if there's an employee that just doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I got this monitor for a really cheap price.
Oh, nice. I mean, that's perfect.
Well, to be fair, they put a clearance sticker on like one of these nice new curved monitors. And I'm like, hey, how much is this for? He's like, oh, it's just $50. I'm like, let's go. Come on, take it with me.
All right. Sold.
Yeah.
All right, and the last super chat, I won't read it out because it's more personal, but it's specifically towards you, Ash. So that's something you can take a look at when you get a chance.
Oh, actually, I already saw it. I can read it out really quick if we want.
Well, I mean, it's just about how to DM you, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing to respond to on stream. So,
oh, sure, fair enough. I mean,
here's my personal phone number.
Yeah, no, right. I mean, I'm not gonna give out my Discord handle, but if you're already in our Patreon, that's different. And my DMs are generally open, but also know that I get a lot of DMs. So if I don't get back to you right away, don't take it personally. That's why. But I'd be happy to answer your question whenever I'm able to. But yeah, so if you have my Discord handle, go ahead and reach out. No problem.
Yep. So thank you very much for the super chat,
so much.
as well to Dashy, who retracted their message. I think it was Pokemon related, but I think we kind of answered what they said. But thank you very much for the super chat either way.
Yes, thank you.
So let's go ahead and move on to our next story, where it's historic. I don't know. This is weird. So, Metal Gear Solid games have been delisted across multiple platforms. Not because Konami's like, well, screw Metal Gear Solid. No, it's because the historical footage being used in those games, the license has run out. And in order to get them back up, Konami needs to fix it, to basically repay for the licenses. So basically, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD Edition and the original Metal Gear Solid HD Edition on PlayStation 3 have been delisted. Same for those games on Vita. The PlayStation Now version of Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, the 360 version of Metal Gear Solid HD Edition 2 and 3, the 3DS version of Metal Gear Solid 3, Good Old Games version of Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, and the NVIDIA Shield versions of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 HD for NVIDIA Shield. So all those were taken down today, and Konami says they'll get it back up, but how? Like, why did they not know this was coming up and prevent it from happening like right away?
Someone dropped
Before
it.
this
Yeah.
happened.
I can see the intern just basically checking the emails, be like, all right, junk mail, junk mail, junk mail, junk mail. Oh, what's this important? And it's just junk mail.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, important vote is you basically got today to pay it off. It's like, oh, we don't have the payment yet. We don't have our paychecks yet. Pull it from the store. Pull it from the store. Pull it from the store. Hurry before they charge us more.
That totally is what this reads like. I saw a post, I think on Era this morning about this, and somebody was saying this reads like somebody was just like asleep for a long time and woke up and was like, oh shit, yeah, these rights are expiring. Yeah, we better figure this out. Delist everything and we'll figure it out later. This definitely feels like a last minute scramble that they just completely forgot that this was even a problem.
So they just removed it because they were just using actual footage from history channels and stuff like that. One is because they just lost the licensing for those, correct?
Yeah. It is
Okay.
literally just historical footage. It's not Konami being awful for any reason. They just sort of missed something. They missed a memo somewhere. It's a very odd situation. And it is funny. It's just like it's old historical footage from like the 40s. It's all grainy and whatnot. It's just meant to evoke a feeling of the old, like, yes, the wars were like this. And, you know, this is the military industrial complex and how it all goes and things like that. So.
And then Konami re-ups of the game with all the videos taken down, but it's just like child drawings up on every part of it. It's like war is really bad. We had what is these drawings? I don't know what's going on. It's just like them doing like multiple takes. Like I'm just saying, like, what does this mean? It's just drawings.
I hope they don't just take it out. Like I don't know what they would replace it with, but that historical footage, like I know we don't know exactly which snippets of footage are responsible for this. It might be all of them, might be some of them, but I know anybody who's played Metal Gear knows the kind of cutscenes they're talking about, and they add a certain very Metal Gear flavor to the proceedings. And so I feel like it wouldn't quite be the same without that historical footage. And so I kind of hope they this is Konami, so who knows what they're going to do, but I do hope they just agree to just pay whatever they need to pay to keep the games the way they are and just release them unaltered. But I guess we'll see. That might not be tenable long term though.
Which they are working on it because they say they are renewing the licenses and just ask for patience.
Right. Yeah, I guess we'll see how they choose to handle it. But I do hope that they don't like re-release them with just that stuff taken out and just, well, I don't know, a black screen, or I don't know what they would do to replace the footage necessarily. But I hope they keep it intact because I do think it adds, you know, a lot to the flavor of those games' stories.
Yeah, agreed.
Or what they might do is like, hey, have like some interns just fly around like the world and just be like, hey, take some video, take some photos, we'll edit it and post, we'll just make our own sort of like historic videos and stuff like that.
No, the footage is back. It just says DirectX at the top now. Or whatever it was. It was a DivX.
Right, it's your Hypercam 3 and 2.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. That's the true experience.
It just takes it from like YouTube pages from like 20 years ago where they were just these like blatant like videos, just like history was bad, so let me talk about it. It's just nothing but like weird images.
I love it.
Oh man, I love it.
The
watermark snake.
The weirdest thing to me, it's not even regarding this whole story, but it just every time I think of Metal Gear Solid 2 and just where the world is now, and even just a few years after Metal Gear Solid 2, that's where I first heard the word meme.
Oh,
I was like, he's talking about memes. I'm like, what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah,
like
passing on your mimetic legacy.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what's going. It is very strange how prophetic Sakurai can be at times.
Sakurai?
You mean
Sakurai? Kojima, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. This just got really. Can you imagine a Sakurai made Metal Gear game? This just got weird.
You know what? That'd be pretty awesome.
I actually can't.
Yeah.
War. Sell.
Oh God.
Really quickly, I have a piece of breaking news. The kind of breaking news we love here on TNT.
Oh.
I just got the heads up that Mubar has moved up to the producer tier. They were previously part of the Discord community member tier on our Patreon, and they have upped their pledge to the producer tier. So welcome to the producer squad, Mubar, and thank you very much. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, very cool. But, yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's Konami being Konami. On the other hand, it's kind of funny. And on the other hand, they're fixing it. So I guess it doesn't matter in the long run. I don't think there's anybody out there like, no, I missed my chance to buy these games that have been out there for a while. How am I ever going to play Metal Gear Solid on the NVIDIA Shield?
I wonder if we're still going to be selling copies at our store. That's what I want to know.
It might be. I mean,
I could just imagine my boss.
I have physical media. That kind of solves that problem.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think
Oh,
they would
well.
take it off of store shelves because they have
No.
to sell through.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
copies are going out.
Searchman DS's take on what a Sakurai-led MGS game would look like here, or sound like, I guess, here on YouTube chat, saying, "War is hell." Puyo! That's perfect.
Yeah.
I would totally play a game with Kirby and the
Metal Gear
emotional,
Kirby.
hardcore, grizzled snake roll. Hell yeah, I'd be all about that.
You should
Oreo
see
Snake.
Meta Knight with a gun.
Yeah.
Oh God, it is just brother, him on top of Rex. It's actually
No.
Dynamite. It's actually Dynablade, and it's it's Kirby and
Oh.
Meta Knight battling it out like Snake and Liquid.
Oh man, I'm you, Dynablade. I'm your shadow. I can totally, man. Bring it on. Bring on the weirdness. I'm all about it. I love it.
It was through this cursed arm I lived on, Kirby. This
Yeah.
arm.
Oh, I love it.
I can just see like a Waddle Dee with a cursed arm.
Oh,
my
man.
God.
Who would,
Waddle
it's
Dee is a
good.
freaking ocelot. That'd be crazy.
would it be Waddle Dee as the Ocelot, or would it be DDD, or we could have who would be Otacon?
Oh man, that's a good question. Who would be Otacon? Marks?
No, Marks is insane. He'd be the best bet for
That's
Liquid
true.
or
A pain.
yeah, just a pain.
Bandana
Oh, man.
D.
Damn. Bandana D. Yeah, Bandana D is kind of regular enough and kind of in the background enough sometimes that I feel like he could work as Otacon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, nice.
Well,
Star will be right.
oh my God. Well, now that we're done fan casting, let's go ahead and actually read up another super chat before we move on. First up, from Rec BCQ. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. With a $5 super chat saying, my final college show will be going up on November 21st. I'll be stuck in rehearsal for a bit, so preemptive wishes of broken legs would be wonderful. Absolutely. Hope you do well.
Yeah. Break a leg, not literally, of course, but no, dude, you're going to kill it. I'm sure. All the good vibes to you. Good luck, and let us know how it goes, even though we already know it's going to turn out perfectly well because you're awesome and you got this.
Yeah, you already get the A+. What you got to worry about?
Yeah,
exactly.
No legs
And,
broken required.
Yeah, no actual legs broken. Yeah.
I mean, you can break my legs. I mean, if that helps you out.
You heard it here. You're allowed
Generous.
to break their legs. So
No,
yeah, that's very generous of you, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
It means I don't have to work Black Friday next week.
There you go. I have an excuse. Well, let's move on to our third story of the night where, you know what? It seems like you can't even be paid to be working at Ubisoft right now.
Oh man.
So Ubisoft Canada has announced pay increases, basically to stem the tide of staff just leaving like crazy over there. Basically, there's been an exodus of many of its most senior developers. And while there are raises across the board, for example, junior staff will receive a 5 to 7% increase, while most senior staff could see their pay increased up to 20%. It is still prompting a ton of criticism that it basically reinforces the existing inequalities at the studios. So
Yeah.
basically, the lower level developer might see a 50,000 a year salary increase. They're making $50,000 a year, but a 5 to 7% increase would only increase it by another 2,500, while the person making $100,000 a year could get another 20,000. So it's still kind of unequal, and it's not good that they're bleeding a lot of these senior developers, because Ubisoft Canada is where Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, and Watch Dogs Legion were all developed. So, not going well.
Pay your
Yeah.
employees.
It should be that simple. It's pay your freaking employees. Well said, Brandon. It's that simple, but apparently that is asking too much. Yeah, pay your employees and pay them. Don't only pay the ones who already make the most. Don't give them the biggest bumps. Like, give everyone a bump. Like it only, as the Kotaku article says, it only really fuels inequality if you're bumping up the people who already make the most by the most. Like, lift up the people below you, lift up the people who aren't making much. This just seems so obvious to me.
A 5 to 7% increase on someone making $50,000 is basically nothing when you're
Yeah.
giving a 20% increase to the guy who makes $100,000. That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
just- It
Nope.
doesn't make any sense.
Why not just do it like 20% across the board if you're going to pull that crap?
It just seems like these companies are always trying to flirt with, like, what's the very bare minimum, the least I can do for these employees without making them leave. Like, okay, what's the least I can do to convince them to stay, but not a cent more? And I hate that mentality. I hate that mentality. Pay people what they're worth, and people are worth a lot more in general than what, game developers pay them, unless you're an executive, and maybe then at that point you're maybe worth less than what you make.
It's so dumb too, because like, if you're so worried about your bottom line, why are you paying the people who are making the most already so much more when it would go so much farther for the employees underneath who are making less?
Yeah.
Like that, it would go so much further. It literally makes zero sense. I don't get it.
And it seems like they're only doing it in reaction to people leaving. It's not as though like Allen had mentioned in our live audience chat, are we really complaining about them increasing salaries now? And that's a fair point. We don't want to lose the forest for the trees. In general, it's always a good thing when people are paid more, right? That's a good thing. Congratulations, Ubisoft. But they're not doing it for the right reasons. It's not as though they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're doing it because people are leaving. So they're doing it because they have to. So, it doesn't, we're not complaining about people getting paid more, but it's not as though this is just being done because Ubisoft loves their employees and want to reward them for the work they've been doing. They're doing it because people are leaving for greener pastures. So it's not really for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. And it's once again companies being like, well, just shut him up. Just shut him up. That's all that really matters. Not like actually trying to fix the problem. It's just trying to get people to be quiet and, do the work they're being asked to do. And,
Yeah.
The group of Better Ubisoft is, not impressed. They talked to Kotaku, said that basically that the moves do absolutely nothing to address the key demands of the group of, Better Ubisoft. And by weighting the pay rises enormously in favor of senior staff, management are exacerbating the gap between highly and lowly paid workers. And guess what? Your lowly paid workers are going to become your senior workers at some point. So
Yeah.
It's actively
it's-
making the
it's-
issue worse.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, on the face of it, people getting paid more is a good thing, but it shouldn't only be your senior people. It should. I mean, really, if anything, it's the people who are making less who need the help more, and they're just as valuable. So yeah, it's just it's a good thing, in a vacuum for sure. But when you look at it in the proper context, you see that it's really only exacerbating existing inequalities. And again, they're only doing it because they feel like they're being forced to, not because they're, not out of any sense of, humanitarianism or, goodness or, we just want to give our employees more because they deserve it. They've been working so hard. No, it's because they're scared of losing too many employees for paying them too little. And that's not a good reason, really.
the big thing here is that Montreal has become kind of a big game development mecca over the past few years. And so it's become highly competitive between all of these companies in Montreal for that talent. So Ubisoft not paying enough is kind of exacerbating that whole thing. Like, as Kotaku mentions in their article, another Montreal studio, Eidos, who just did Guardians of the Galaxy, they had announced last month they're going to be moving to a 4-day 32-hour work week. And that Ubisoft experimented with a 36-hour work week over the past summer, and that management had considered the initiative a success. But when asked to continue it or expand it, the policy was shot down as unworkable. So Ubisoft's like, hey, it's a success. I mean, well, the management's like, hey, it's a success. Can we keep doing this? No, it's not good. We can't make this work.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, then again, this is Ubisoft at the end of the day, and none of us here are under any illusions of them being, one of the the greats anymore. They certainly used to be, I would say, but the way, the scandals they've come under fire for, the company culture, I mean, they're not that far off from Activision Blizzard in that sense, in terms of everything they've come under fire for, and them, underpaying their employees. I mean, that's just a game industry pox in general, and Ubisoft are just as guilty of that as, just as guilty for that as so many other companies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
Yeah.
more of a mess. It's mean. It's it's weird. I saw people mention this. It's like Frequent Positron mentioned this. Stop making EA look better. When's the last time you heard anybody really complain about EA? That's the weird thing. It's Activision and Ubisoft now, but you don't hear about EA too much anymore.
It's true. I think people just
Yeah.
kind of know what to expect from EA in terms of they're just going to keep doing what they do. We may not like it, but they're not. Yeah, I guess EA isn't quite as actively, aggressively toxic, or ruining things for other people as these two companies are.
I guess it's easy to lower your head when all this horrible stuff is taking place
Yeah,
and
it's
it's so
a
public.
little easier to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, as Juan in our patron chat does point out, I think it was EA's CEO just showed his whole ass by making some statement about NFTs being the future of gaming.
I mean,
God.
that did just happen.
that's a lot of companies right now, which is really just
It's
EA,
Square Enix even
Square
came out and
Enix,
said the same thing.
Discord.
It
Did you see the
sucks.
Discord
Yep.
poll that went out?
No, I didn't.
Yep.
Discord sent out a poll about what do you think of NFTs? I don't know about it. I know a little bit about it. I love
an
them,
NFT?
basically those things. There's nothing in there saying no, I don't. Yes, I know about them, but they're terrible. There's no option for that. It's all just like no, I know about them and they're great.
I hate the idea that games are going to an NFT style model, whatever that even means for games. And I hate that there are companies who are just, I mean, obviously they're going to go where the money is, but that just feels so gross. And NFTs in general, we already know how bad for the environment they are. We're already fighting climate change. This just seems like such
We
a
gotta make a
perfect
quick
storm for
buck.
just a disaster. God, I hate this. Ugh. I hate this. Hate it.
Yeah, it's
NFTs, not good vibes. Not at all.
no,
Bad
really
vibes.
not.
Ah.
Well, you might know what might be a good vibe. Maybe, hopefully, a new trademark from Sega. Which let's bring that up for our next story.
All right.
Oh, Sega has registered a trademark for Sonic Frontiers, which many have taken to the idea that this could actually be the new name for Sonic Rangers. It's not Sonic Rangers anymore, it's Sonic Frontiers, which I'll be honest, kind of like that name better.
Yeah, I think I like that name more too. Sonic Rangers always seemed a little bit, it was fine, but just kind of like plain and not very memorable. Sonic Frontiers sounds a bit hyper to me.
Reminded me of
And I'm
Pokemon,
looking.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this game brings to the table. I just hope they take all the time they need to get it right. Please, please put your best foot forward with this game, Sonic team. Don't let this be another Forces. Please don't let this be another Forces.
Honestly, I
hope
just like the word frontier a lot better than rangers, because whenever you think of a ranger, you're just like thinking like, oh, it's a ranger out there in the woods and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But when you hear frontier, it's like this is a whole new landscape that's going to be open for exploring and all this sort of thing. And
Random,
for a
yeah.
Sonic game like that one, a big environment, a new area, no green hill, no green hill, no green hill. Calling it right now. Not gonna
Yeah.
be a green hill in this one. We're gonna be seeing a bunch of new stuff.
You'll see a green hill somewhere, but it won't be the
if
green
I
hill.
see one green hill, I'm gonna come back to this video and say, "Gosh dang it, Garrett!"
If I see one more green hill, I'm turning this car around right now. Sega. Right now. Neoxin in our YouTube chat says there was a YouTube rumor that called the fact that Rangers was only a working title that mentioned details like no wisps, there being a DLC expansion, a huge world and budget and more. So, that would certainly suggest that the rest of those, nuggets of information might apply to what Sonic Frontiers actually ends up being. But yeah, I like the idea that this is the real name and Rangers was just a working name. And I just want to find out more about this game now. That and Sonic Origins, of course.
I don't count Sound Hill. I don't count Sand Hill. It's still Green Hill.
It's still Green. Yeah, exactly. That still doesn't
I'm sorry,
count.
I'm
No
reading your
version of Green
chat.
Hill. Yeah.
It's still Green Hill.
It's still Green Hill. It's the same thing.
I'm instilled with a little bit of confidence knowing that they're taking their time. Because when have they ever done that? Literally tell me, because I have no idea. Have they ever done this?
The last time I think they delayed a Sonic game to polish it a bit more was Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which was better than the first Sonic Boom 3DS title. It was not bad.
It was
That's
fine.
fair.
So
yeah, the fact that they're
But-
taking some extra care into this makes me think that they're actively trying, and it's not a Sonic Forces situation where the game wasn't even in development when they first gave us that CG trailer. So I hope it's good. I have a little bit of confidence. Just take that confidence and run with it, please. We need a win.
Yeah.
we really could use another win for Sonic. It's been a while, and
I mean, yeah. And the thing is, we know from past experience that when Sonic Team put their best foot forward, they can deliver. I still think Sonic Generations is one of the best Sonic games ever
Agreed.
made. I adore that game, both the 2D and 3D sections. So when they really put their best foot forward, they've proven to us that they've got what it takes to make a damn good Sonic game. But then we get, stuff like Forces that show that when they don't put their best foot forward, it's just like they don't know what the fuck they're doing with the franchise. So please I almost said Rangers, but please let Frontiers just be an example of the latter that reminds us all that Sonic Team really can kick ass when they put their minds to it. They really can.
I
Bring
mean,
back that rockin' music too.
oh god,
Oh yeah. Oh,
Even a
there
portion-
has to be a Crush 40 song for the game. There has to be.
Even a portion of Unleashed is good. A portion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A portion of Unleashed is good. I agree with that. The day half of Unleashed is a badass game.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So,
I still think Generations had the best use of the red rings, unlocking songs that you could then play on the levels as you replay them. That, my God, I use that so much. That was wonderful. I want that for return. Just bring back old Sonic music and bam, put it in any level you want from the game, and there you go.
The extra
Or
little
if it is big and
challenges.
open world, Sonic has a radio. Listen to his old songs on the radio as he's going around. I don't care.
Those
Do
extra
something like that.
challenges for every level too, I thought were really fun. Like
Uh-huh.
actually, I actively enjoyed doing most of them,
Yeah.
which I was surprised by.
I mean, and think how much better Generations could have been, because there's signs everywhere in that game that there was so much cut content.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So if they would actually give that more time, but granted, they were also trying to hit the 25th anniversary at that point.
give us Sonic
Right.
Or 20th
Regeneration.
anniversary.
I think it's 20th.
Oh my God, 10 years since Generations.
Don't
I
say
know.
that
Oh my
to
God.
me.
I may got that wrong. It may be 20th. I don't know. It's been a
I
while.
played that game on my crappy laptop at like 15 frames per second, but I really wanted to play it, so I stuck with it anyway. It's a testament how good it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ditto M reminds us in our live audience patron chat that Mania was also delayed for quality, for quality's sake. So
True, but
and
both
yeah,
those
we saw
times,
that.
there's are studios that weren't directly Sonic Team that think
Right.
this is the first time Sonic Team themselves has delayed a game.
You might be right. Yeah.
Think.
And man, I hope it delivers. I want nothing more than for Sonic Frontiers to be fucking badass, man. I want this game to be great. And I believe it's possible, but it's definitely a wait and see thing. Is this best Sonic Team, or is this like Sonic Team? We don't know until the game comes out.
Well, do you also think it's possible that because this has gotten trademark and they have this new name, could we see a reveal soon, or are they going to wait till like next year, for example?
I'm going to say next year.
I would say either next year or maybe possibly perhaps a new trailer at the Game Awards.
Oh, that'd
Oh,
be good.
yeah. I
Game
forgot about
Awards would be
see.
a perfect place for it.
Yeah,
away.
I could see maybe getting a new look at it at the Game Awards, and yeah, that's not very far away. It's only a few weeks now. Jeez.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try and push it around the time of the second Sonic movie, just to get
Right.
that promotional tie-in.
Yeah,
There'll
yeah.
probably be a movie Sonic skin like they've been throwing in all the mobile games.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. No, I like that idea. I guess it just depends on if they feel like it needs any more time in the oven in a delay sense. But if not,
Yeah.
and they're on track with what we know, then I feel like positioning it to release around the same time as the Sonic 2 movie does make sense.
Bring back the original movie one Sonic. Let's go.
Yeah.
They're gonna do it for the meme at some point.
Oh
Right.
yeah, they're
It's
gonna be
gonna
like,
happen.
it's gonna be like not in a million years and it just disappears.
If
I
Sonic
mean,
Hedgehog can hit superstar Sega fame, like in games and in the movie,
Uh-huh.
It's
Old
basically
Sonic
fake
design's
Crash.
gonna do
It's
it.
or fake Sonic.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing is the the Knuckles render I used is from Sonic Dash. They brought back his hat from the Sonic OVA and made it into the game. So
Mhm.
Sega has been known to use that meme culture for Sonic. So I could see it.
Mhm.
Could happen.
Neoxin adds that going by the rumor they mentioned earlier, the game may still get pushed back to 2023. I have heard that. I have heard about that aspect of the rumor. And you know what? If it does, if that's what it needs to be great, then fine. That's totally cool with me. I just want this game to be great for the franchise and just prove to people once again that 3D Sonic can be badass when Sonic Team really, really knocks it out of the park. So if it gets delayed to 2023, fine. Just get it right.
Please.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what actually happens. But before we move on, we got a few more super chats. First up from Moon Ghost Doodles with 129 Mexican pesos. Says, well, thank you so much. And first, next up is saying, oh, blah. Boy, I can't talk today. God, that sucks. They
Because
said,
I'm here.
yeah, I'm just too blinded by your greatness.
Oh,
Moon Ghost, that's why I had to keep you off cam. Otherwise, we can't do it.
Exactly.
But yes, thank you so much, Moon Ghost Doodles. They said, in my opinion, the people who say Pokemon games got easier are the same people who preemptively grind a lot. No grinding in an RPG is always a win. Good vibes to all. I feel like some grinding is still kind of necessary at times, but I do know other people do over grind.
Definitely. I think the experience share being, like a shared thing that you can't turn off almost makes it impossible not to grind, even when you're not trying to, because Pokemon you're not actively using are still getting all that experience. So I just feel like
Yeah.
whether you know it or feel
And you
like
get
you're doing it or
experience for
not, you
catching a
kinda are.
Pokemon now.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's true. I forgot about that.
so
Yeah.
if you're just trying to catch a bunch of Pokemon, you're getting a bunch of experience. So,
yeah.
if you
Oh
want to talk
man.
about overgrinding, my friend Experiment, he likes to overgrind a lot in early parts of RPGs, where he's basically level 99 before he faces the first gym. That's how long he does grind
Jeez.
for.
I have seen that
couldn't.
where I'm sure you heard of this, Ash, where somebody, did the Tidus, Riku, and Waka fights in Kingdom Hearts 1
Oh,
and got up to level
I
99
did.
before moving on with the rest of the game.
Why would you ever? I mean, hey, whatever makes you happy if that's how you want to spend your time, but I can't imagine wanting to ever do that. I guess just to say that
No.
you can, right? It's just an achievement to say, "Hey, I did this."
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm good on that. I can't. I did remember hearing about that, and I don't know how long it took them, but I know it was a long time.
Yeah, seriously.
Have you
Yeah.
ever wanted to spend a whole entire day beating the crap out of Tidus and Waka? Well, there you go.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
Trace Hall with $5 super chat saying, love you gamers. I can't wait for Pokemon Brilliant Diamonds Shining Pearl. Well, they did the other. I'm not sure if that was a typo or not, but they did what BDSP looks like.
I
But next
love it.
week.
I've made that mistake before, not
Oh,
necessarily
yeah,
typing.
I have to correct
but
myself
saying it.
constantly.
Yeah, that's so good. I've definitely had to correct myself before. That's yeah, but we know what you meant, Trace, for sure. And thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final story, which,
And speaking of delays,
yeah, speaking of
Yeah.
delays, let's bring it up. So, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, the Endwalker expansion, has been delayed until December 7th. The team needs a few more weeks to get everything set. But the early access is still available December 3rd. Now, I believe, I can't remember I was looking for the original release date, but it was like November, 20th or something like that, Linky?
23rd, I thought. I feel
The
like
night, the 19th, or no, the 19th for the early access, the 22nd for the official release
Okay.
was the
Okay.
original time.
So yeah, about 2 weeks or so delay. And basically, it comes down to the fact that it also shifts some of the planned patches to later. 6.0.1 will be available starting December 21st, while patch 6.0.5 will go up on January 4th. And basically, Yoshi P explained that the delay is due to him and his team fine-tuning the game to make it the best experience they could. Unfortunately, all those adjustments pushed into the time set aside for final quality assurance checks. And as Yoshi P says, at this rate, there was a bigger risk of us reaching the release date without ensuring stability as one form of quality, and for that, I have decided to postpone the release at this time. As we also anticipate large amounts of congestion across all game worlds, I felt that even in this respect, it wouldn't be right for us to release the expansion while lacking adequate stability. I am truly sorry, and he definitely did his old bow, apologized profusely, did it way more than anybody ever expected from him. And every Final Fantasy 14 fans I've seen is like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'm about to say there, this man has been through a lot because this is the first time he had to delay a game. Because originally he had to delay a whole entire patch. I can't remember off the top of my head for about from spring to summertime, and he basically just kept apologizing and kept apologizing. I'm like, dude, it's okay. If you want to make some more time, it's fine with us as long as you're owning up into it and not BSing it like, oh, we're just gonna push it out there now and have it patched later. You can't do that, or he didn't want to do that because he wants you to have the game as best as you can right then and now, because he wants you to get the best experience without any kind of quirks or anything like that one, because that's his goal, is to make a game that's basically built for yourself, something that he and his team will actually play, because they're all playing the game alongside with us, and if they're not confident with the final product, they're going to go back and remake the game as many times as you can, because they don't want a repeat of 1.0, which 1.0 was basically the downfall of 14. And they want to avoid that as much as possible. That's why all the fans are like, hey, we love you, man. Just take all the time he needs. And the dude hates letting people down as much, because I saw the live feed, especially for the live later that happened, where he was kind of tearing up about, like, the moment he says, like, we have to delay this sort of thing, you can just feel that heartbreak right there. And it was just, you had to be there for it.
Yeah.
I understand. I've seen the way this man works since I've gotten into 14, and it's amazing the dedication he has. And it says something that just how much trust people have in him at this point, because I have a friend who used a bunch of PTO to be ready to play Final Fantasy Endwalker as soon as it comes out, as much as possible. And now he's working trying to get the PTO shifted so it's for the new release. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, even he's like, yeah, it's for a better game. It's the way it goes. Like, he wasn't upset. It's just like, well, I just got to shift things around and try this again.
Jesus Christ, what's going on?
Man,
I guess the Endwalker hype is over here as well.
Really hyped for Endwalker.
Pretty
Yeah.
intense up there. My
Jeez. Yeah, I've got like multiple ambulances screaming down Wilshire Boulevard right now. I guess
calm
the
down,
Endwalker
Ash. We're
hype
only
is
level 8.
right. Man, I guess so. I love what I've seen. Obviously I am not an MMO guy, and I haven't had the time to really dig into FF14. Even, someone tells me level 8 just is barely any of the game. Obviously it is, but I love what I've seen and I've heard of this community. I love how this community, from what I've been told and what I've kind of experienced through osmosis, is the exact opposite of communities like, say, the Smash community, where the fans seem so appreciative of Yoshi P's efforts and aren't toxic and aren't demanding or angry or complaining that there's been delay. They seem to genuinely appreciate his efforts and everything he does, and there seems to be a genuine, just good vibes connection and a lot of two-way respect between Yoshi P and the fan base, and it seems like it's a two-way street. The fans really respect his efforts. He really respects their dedication to the game. I just love how wholesome and just warm and gooey I feel about when I hear about the FF14 community.
Yeah, I'm about to say there, that's always like one thing I'm always trying to do for people is I'm trying to be the mentor as I am to help people basically go through the game because I enjoy this game. I want people to go through the game as well in the same manner as I did my first time through, because my first time through, I was going with everybody at the same time. But now that I'm basically done with 14, besides one ultimate, but we'll get to that later. I am basically going back, helping these new players get through the story and stuff like that. I'm keeping my mouth shut because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I hear the plot gets crazy as time goes on.
Oh
but-
yeah, yes. Especially when you get to Heaven's Word. Good luck with that, Derek. I'm not going to say any more. And Crystal Tower, because that's going to be playing a part later on,
yeah,
as you can
I'll
possibly
be
know.
Thursday. Yeah, it'll be this
Mm.
Thursday. I'll be streaming that.
But let me finish up my thought real quick.
Oh, sure.
But it's also the same way when it comes to raiding and stuff like that. Because when we did the whole T9 raid, you saw me basically giving like little tips and stuff like that. When like I'm not discouraging people, I'm helping you guys, and that's what 14 just feels like for everybody. Where we're just climbing up the same mountain, but we're also extending hands for people who's having struggles with it, and we're basically
Love
teaching
that.
our ways and stuff like that. Because honestly, we're all climbing up the same mountain, but at the same time, if one of us lets go, then we all fall down, and then we got to reset, then we got to get echo, then we got to learn to fight again, and then it's a fun time.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. I love that.
I mean, I've talked to somebody who is a newbie and not first MMO and not sure about it, but they've played it enough now that they feel really confident, and they do this. They extend that same reach to help newer players, because I think that's the thing, is a lot of people who got into 14 are not used to MMOs, and so they're like, they know how it was starting out. Let's go back and help them out, and I think that's a really cool aspect of it. I know, Brandon, a while ago you were playing. How far are you now? Have you made any progress? Or
I'm still in 2.x, but the closer we get to Endwalker, the more the itch is coming back to catch up.
Mhm.
do you remember exactly where in 2.x you were?
I think I'm right before King Moggy Mog, I want to say.
Okay, so
Hold up, what? He say Moggy Mog?
yeah,
Isn't that his
Mog
name?
Moogle, the Mog Primal.
It's King Moogle Mog. Yeah.
Moogle
Oh,
Mog.
okay. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Or something like that.
I have never heard anyone call him Moggy Mog.
That's
Hey,
his
you know
new
what?
name.
To be fair, Final Fantasy has a bunch of weird names. I had an ex once who called
I
Bahamut
know.
Bahamut, and
I-
I knew she was wrong, but she insisted it was Bahamut. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Bahamut, but I didn't argue the point, because you know what, Final Fantasy has a lot of weird names, so whatever.
Mhm.
It does. It's just now I can't look at Moogle Mug the same way ever again. Now. It's King Migamog.
Moggy Mog is pretty great. I do love
It's
that.
Moggy
name, though.
Mog from now on.
Yeah, it's Moggy Mog. That's his new name. I do think it does pick. It is a drag for a while, those 2.x stuff, but I do think it picks up once you get to 2.4. 2.3 at the end it starts getting interesting, but 2.4 I think has been really interesting so far, and I hear
Okay.
2.5 is incredible. So
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm currently in the the biggest part of the slog, I want to say.
yeah, I have
I'm about
about 10 more quests to do before I'm done with 2.4.
Yeah, I'm about to say there, a Rumbleborn is basically your tutorial. You're going to learn your moves, you're going to learn the basics, you're going to learn how to tank, DPS, and heals. It's very necessary that you basically play it for both the story as well as the gameplay, because you got to learn how to tank, you got to learn positionals, you got to learn how to heal, you got to learn all this sort of thing. That's why it's going to be a little bit of drag, because you're still learning all sort of thing. But once you basically climb up to Heaven's Ward and soar to the skies and start flying around and all sort of thing, you're going to have an amazing time. And then you go to Stormblood, and then you go to Shadowbringers, and then you're going to have an amazing time with that one.
I love this. This is the collaboration that now needs to happen after Brandon revealed his pronunciation. Press Jason to X says Snoop Moggy Mog. That's too good. This is a collab that needs to happen now. It has to
If
happen.
you start in Gridania, you get to see a Mog get drunk. Well,
Oh,
or
really?
drink at least.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He steals somebody's alcohol and takes a
That's
swig.
great. I love that.
Sadly, I started a new doll, so I didn't see that. I just got arrow
okay.
shot at me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I would
Oh,
love to get
goodness.
back in and play 14, but I just know I don't have the time to sink into it. Not
Yeah.
not if I didn't
At
want to
the
take
very
it away from
least,
other games. Yeah.
if you find extra time, Ash, Linky, you probably know the documentary, but there was a documentary that somebody did that talked with the devs and talked to the effort, like
Oh.
what happened,
Oh,
what it
the
was
no
like at
clip.
1.0 and the effort to get it to 2.0 and beyond.
Oh, I know
Um,
it. It's from point oh or point one, where they basically go to like game developers and talk about that sort of thing. If you really want to know the history of Final Fantasy, I highly do recommend just look at the documentary of Final Fantasy 1.0, and it will basically get you caught up, and then you can start a Realm Reborn without having the need to worry about 1.0 stuff. Though honestly,
Mhm.
you can just straight up play. Who's
but yeah,
What?
the
I'll be back.
documentary is really good, Ash. Like I hadn't played it yet. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my, and even then there's like, oh my God, this man is amazing. It's like with Yoshi
Nice.
P.
I've heard, I mean, amazing things about all the things he's been able to do and just his total and utter devotion to everything that 14 has become. And, you know, it's, of course, it's easy to forget in the wake of its incredible success now, how it started out with a realm, you know, or 1.0, I should say, 14
I
1.0.
I played 1.0 and I think at PAX.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tried it out. I'm like, this is empty and boring and this sucks.
Yeah.
It just did. I bounced off. I was like, oh, that's way worse than 11.
Well, apologies about that. I just got a call from a boss.
Oh, no
Oh,
worries.
no,
Yeah, it's
that
fine. It's
is
fine.
very
It's fine.
important.
It's fine.
Brandon, not that one in our live audience chat says Ash will invent more time. If only I had the know-how. If I could
I
create my
wish.
own pocket universe that I could just retreat into to get as much gaming time as I wanted to, man, I'd have done it already.
We
I
need
would
that
have.
hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah. Or
For
as Moon
real.
Knight
Just a
says,
game.
he has the double gear or whatever it's called from Mega Man 11. That's true. If I had my own double gear system, I could just slow down time for myself and get in all that extra gaming time. That's what I need. That's the answer, of course.
Hey, man.
Perfect. There you
Yeah.
go.
Maybe one of these days
So-
I can finish Tales of Arise.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Or how many other games. But I think with that, we'll end off on that Final Fantasy news. And as we I totally have enough time to reach Endwalker now. Totally have enough time. I can beat it.
Nice. Nice.
But I think with that, that is all the news for today. So thank you all so much for watching. And Linky, where can everybody
Yes.
find you at?
Well, you can find me at two places. Most of the time, I'm usually on twitter.com/goodkinglinky, but I also do streams over at Twitch at twitch.tv/goodkinglinkies. I am currently playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where I'm basically trying to collect every single blade.
Good luck.
RNG is
Nice.
not in my favor, and I'm only 6 away from being
Good
done.
luck. Oh, man.
And right now, after I get done with Xenoblade, I'm actually going to be starting either Final Fantasy Tactics, because apparently there is a remaster of that coming soon, or another one of my RPG games, because I mainly play RPG games or JRPG games on my end. So yeah,
Nice. Very cool.
Here's
Definitely check out
hoping-
Linky.
Yeah, here's hoping that FFT remaster is a real thing. But yes, Linky, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It's been a pleasure.
no problem, man. It's been an honor
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And-
Sorry,
oh,
Derek, before you go into your outro, I just wanted to remind everybody about our anniversary, unless you were
Oh,
already
right.
planning on-
Go
Yeah.
right ahead.
So so everyone knows, yes, tomorrow is Good Vibes Gaming's 1 year anniversary. How has it already been that long? I don't know. Time flies when you're having
Yeah.
fun. But just as a quick reminder, we're going to do Patreon posts and Twitter posts and everything about this, but we are going to have a celebratory 1 year stream a week from tomorrow. We couldn't quite pull it together for tomorrow just because we've got too many things going on with our respective schedules. But next Tuesday, we will be doing a big celebratory stream. The GVG crew is going to be playing a lot of games together, hanging out with you all, just having a good time. So look forward to that, and keep an eye on our Twitter for more information on that. But tomorrow, for our actual anniversary, we're going to be hanging out and doing some cool stuff in our Discord, just some fun private streams with those of us who are around, just to kind of celebrate casually. But yeah, so tomorrow in our Discord, we'll be doing some cool stuff. Look out for announcements next week on YouTube, the big GVG 1 year celebration stream. Keep an eye on our Twitter for more information. And that's my spiel about that. Happy 1 year almost birthday, everybody.
1 year hype!
Right? How is this even happening
Exactly.
already? Jeez. So yeah.
Very cool. And yeah, and hey, if you want to get in on those festivities, become a Patreon, but we also have to thank those patrons that have existed. The ones that got to a year. It wouldn't happen without all of you, big and small.
Hell no, it wouldn't.
Thank you so much for the support. And of course, an extra special thank you to the patrons at the producer tier, as this show just wouldn't be possible without all of you. And an extra special thank you to the patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those include Brandon Bovia, Rob Barman X, Fangs, Dan Intwistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Guy Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Romsky113, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Pagrama, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, Deaneth, Coda, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron809, Rioner, Ditto M, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Nathan Steele, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Game Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Rosa Bowling, hi Steve's mom, Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Town Darling, Dinner Sonic, Derek, Jeff Ed, Wylord, Maddie, Chibi J, Stag Nasty, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Santy the Person, Brendan Hess, Hustle Bun, Noah Fitterer, Rizamon, Calvin Atkinson, Tiffany Thomas, and Hinaru77. Thank you all so much for that support. And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and ad-free content for as little as $5 a month, as well as those special Discord streams that'll be happening tomorrow for everybody to celebrate 1 year. So at least we're pre-gaming. We'll call that pre-gaming.
Exactly. Well said.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night and good vibes.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.